Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday morning, Grow with Google. I am excited to be here. Grow with Google classes have become one of my favorites because we have so many participants that are from all across the United States, and we're actually even spreading into Canada and some of the other countries as well, which is very, very exciting. I'm excited for today's content because it's something that I'm extremely passionate about, especially in our current environment. We are facing some really interesting times with COVID-19, and so many businesses have had to pivot and change how they're doing business. And because of that, we are learning new ways of how to reach our customers, new ways of how to connect and communicate, all kinds of things. And so that is what today's presentation is all about, is how can you connect online with your customers, how can you communicate with them, and then also how you can be more, reach more. So as we move out of COVID and move back into what we know as either, whether it be the new normal or as we move into what business life used to be, as we open up our businesses to regular hours and we make those adjustments. Some of these things, like we've connected with customers all across the world because we have been so involved online. We need to make sure that we're able to communicate with those ongoing. And so I'm really excited for today's presentation. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared. As you come on, we are sharing across about 4 different platforms, so I'm pretty excited about that. Go ahead and leave in the comments where you are joining us from, and let me know why you decided to join this class. I like knowing what people are looking for specifically as I am doing my programming and my scheduling. I like to know what people are looking for in classes, so that as I go through and I'm looking at the different content that is available to me, or as I'm creating different classes, that I know what I can put together that will be beneficial for you. So tell me what kind of business that you're in, if you're here for business, or you might be an employee that's looking to help a business. Let me know what industry you're in as well. That's always fun for me to know as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So the title of today's webinar is Connect with Customers and Manage a Business Remotely. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So today's agenda, we're going to learn how to update critical business information online. We're going to learn the basics. Obviously, Google My Business is a well-versed platform, and if you don't know how to use it, I suggest that you take my class on Google My Business so that you know how expansive it is and how it can benefit your business. We're talking about your website and Google Ads and how those can benefit you moving forward, especially moving out of COVID. Next, we're going to learn how to communicate with your customers and employees using Google Meets and Gmail, and how the two work together and how they correspond together. And then we're going to access files from anywhere using Google Drive. So we're going to go over those platforms today. So it's a lot of information. Obviously, we're not going to be doing a deep dive. It's an overview. So if you want a deep dive, make sure you check out the other classes available, whether it be the Grow with Google classes or the how-to series under the Boss. So if you're not following us under Boss Network, I suggest that you check that out as well, because that is another series that we do operate with some amazing content. And then before we leave, we'll go over a recap and some resources that you could also check out. So first thing we're going to do, if you have the ability, I ask that you sign into your Google account. If you do not have a Google account, I suggest that you take the time to create one. It's very, very easy and simple, and it is free to you to sign up. So go ahead and take a moment and sign into your Google account so that as we're talking about this, you can look at your own business and look at your own resources that are available. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to update our business information. We want to make sure that any information that is searched on Google or comes up on Google Maps is updated and is the right information. I can't tell you how many businesses have come into my center and I sit down and do a consultation with them and I bring their information up on Google. And a lot of times it is incorrect, especially with COVID and how COVID has affected business. If a customer has come to your location and says that your location has been closed and made that as a suggested review or a suggested update, that can go into effect, and then you need to go in and make that adjustment. Another thing that happens a lot is pictures can be outdated. Information, like I talked about, can be outdated. A lot of things need to be adjusted on a regular basis, just like you would update any social media platform for your business. Your Google listings need to be updated. About 80% of people will actually search your business out online before they will actually either visit your brick and mortar store or even purchase from you online. Or, if you are a service-based business, they will search you out online before they will book a service with you. So it's vitally important that you have your items updated. Make sure that is regular on your schedule. So there are 3 applications that you will do that with. Number 1, you're going to do that with Google My Business, and that is connected through your Google account. You can do that and get the word out through Google Ads. And then last but not least, your website, making sure your personal website is up to date is critical, because that is essentially your first line of defense when your customers are coming and seeing who you are. That is that first impression of who you are, what your business is, and the story that you're telling. Your website is critical. So first thing we're talking about is Google My Business. So if you are not connected with Google My Business, I suggest you go and you claim your business if it's already up there. If it's not already connected with Google, I suggest that you add that and you get that going. You can get your reviews from customers so people can know what kind of business you are. You can edit your job description through here. You can update your hours, put in special COVID hours if you're still on some type of COVID restrictions, because I know that some states are. You can publish posts, and posts are just as important on your Google platform as, say, they are on social media and things like that, because those posts, when people Google your business, will actually come up as a search and things like that. So you want to make sure that you're doing those there as well. You want to turn on messaging if you want to communicate with your customers through Google. You want to add messengers to help, add managers to help you manage your account there, so you can add users to that profile. And then also you can mark your business as temporarily closed. So that helps obviously through COVID time right now, but if you have something going on and you need to mark your business as temporarily closed, you had a family emergency, or say you're getting an inspection, or you're getting under construction for an expansion, whatever that might be, you might need to use that particular button, and you can do all of that under Google My Business. So we're going to go over this a little bit and kind of go over some of the sections. Updating your business information would be under the information. Once you claim your business and you get all of that verified, all that go through, you're going to have basically a dashboard or a home base. And then along the side of your screen, as it shows in this picture, you're going to have several different tabs. And under each one of those tabs is going to give you an opportunity to update information and to let your customer know what is going on with your business and really connect with your customers. So under information, this is going to reflect important changes within your business. Like, for example, you can put COVID-19 changes, or if you are expanding, you can talk about your expansion, you're adding a new product line, you're adding a new wing, whatever that might be. That would be a fun way to put that information there and communicate that with your customers. The next item on that section is your hours of operation. You could adjust your hours of operation at any point in time. You just enter those in and put those in as they reflect what hours your business is going to be open. The cool part about that is you can make adjustments so that you're closed for a couple hours during the day. I know a lot of restaurants, in order to, I come from the restaurant world, so you're going to hear a lot of restaurant talk. So a lot of restaurants close in the middle of the day because it's so slow. It's not cost effective to be open, say, between 2 and 4 or 2 and 5. And so they'll close during that time. You can can add that in here by hitting the add hours button on any of those days and reflect that hours or those hours through the middle of the day that you're closed. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. The other thing you can do is you can add certain benefits or certain additions that you've done. I know a lot of restaurants in the last year have added outdoor dining, have added pickup services where they didn't have that before, maybe online ordering, those kind of things you can put into this section so that you can communicate, hey, I have this available to anybody that wants to buy or order through my business. Another thing you can put there is for, like, example, online booking and stuff like that to be more convenient, because so many things are going through online. Okay. We talked about posts a little bit when I was going through. This is the section where you can put posts, and the posts here are just like your posts, say, with social media and things like that. You put posts up here and they get posted to your business through Google. And then as people are searching through ads or Google search, essentially, your posts can be used as a search item to bring your business up in the search algorithms, which is really, really cool. I highly encourage you to use the posts and use them correctly. So some examples of some posts might be something that new that's going on. We talked about some expansion. Maybe you put some outdoor dining in. Maybe you expanded on your building. Maybe you got busy during COVID. Some businesses actually got really busy and added and hired a lot of new people. You could put that out there. We're so excited for all of our new staff. Come and meet our new staff if you're opening back up, different things like that. So you can put products on your posts. There's a special place you can put products on your post where you can actually put a buy button so they can buy directly from that post, which is really, really neat. And if you're a product-based business like this, it can make a big impact in your sales. I don't know if you've ever noticed that when you do a Google search, you have the items, or across the top, you can search all of the web, you can search images, you can search, or you can shop. Your products would come up on that shop search, which is really, really cool. You can offer an offer, say it's a holiday or you're doing a grand opening or whatever that might be. You can do an offer and offer a discount or offer an in-store something to bring people back into your store, and offer that for people that see that ad, which is really kind of exciting when you do that and you see that working for you. You can track that. That's very trackable. And then events. You might have an event like a grand opening. Like I said, we're getting out of COVID and a lot of businesses are reopening. Restrictions are being lifted. It's a great way to market an opening event that's searchable on Google. So that's just another added benefit that you can add to your marketing strategy. Okay, down at the bottom, you will find a place where it says users. I highly suggest you add anybody on your marketing team that could update this information, would have that power. If you have multiple owners of your business, you can add them through here, and you can assign them levels of editability, of kind of where they are and what they can do within your Google My Business, which is really, really nice. So as you can see here, there's multiple, there's like the primary owner, and then there's a secondary, there's two other owners on here. You could also have somebody on there that's an editor, different things like that. You could do different levels so that they have full access or limited access, so that you can also have help to keep your information updated. So under the information tab, if you ever have to mark your business as temporarily closed, that would be under your information tab. And you could click that button that says temporarily closed, as it shows there in the picture, and then you would mark your business as temporarily closed. Then when you're ready to reopen, you can make that adjustment and take that off. Okay, Google Ads. Google Ads is one of those things that it could be a massive benefit to your business, but if you don't know what you're doing, it can also distract from your marketing plan. So knowing Google Ads is going to be very, very important. There's so much education out there about Google Ads, and Google Ads are actually proven to be more effective than some of the other ad strategies that are available. So you can modify your Google Ads at any point in time, and you can pause them them if necessary. So say you have an ad out there that is not being effective, you can go in at any point in time and modify it to be more effective. You can also pause it if something changes, and or say maybe it was more effective than you thought it was going to be. And so you say you ran out of product. And so you can put that on pause so that you are in a better, you can tell you wait for more product to come in, and then you can put that up again. So there's some different things you can do. As you evaluate your ad campaigns, you should always be tracking your ROI on any ad campaign that you do, whether that is on, regardless of the platform. You can do YouTube ads, you can do Google ads, you can do any social media ads, anything like that. You need to track your ROI. What is your goal? What is your ad spend? How many clicks are you getting? How many sales are you actually getting? Is that ad worth the investment? Okay, so you need to review your assets thoroughly. Okay, don't put anything out there that you have not reviewed. Okay, proactively communicate business changes. Again, you don't want to put an ad out there and not have your business information properly updated. Okay, create a helpful message within your ad, and then consider the context and the tone. You want to make sure, look at who you're trying to target, who's your target audience, and make sure your context and your tone are for that target audience within that ad, and you'll be more effective within that. Okay. How to pause your Google ads. You can pause your campaign or stop your ads from showing at any time within your ad center. Choose which campaign you want to pause. So essentially you just go through and you find which campaign, if you have multiple campaigns going, and you click pause just as it shows there in the picture. It's very, very simple. And then when you want to start that up again, you find your campaign again, and then you hit enable, and that will start that campaign up again if you choose. Okay. Okay, let's go to your website. As I mentioned earlier, your website is your first impression of your business. Many, many times, most customers will actually search your business out on the web. How many times do we go, say, traveling? I live in a very tourist-driven area. We have, I think it's 12 national, tribal, and state parks within an hour of where I live. It's absolutely a beautiful area. But how many times do you travel, and when you get into an area, you get on Google, or you get on Google Maps, or whatever your chosen device is, and you search restaurants nearby. And that's how you pick what you're going to eat for the evening. How many times do you do the same thing with hotels and look at the reviews from those hotels before you decide you're gonna stay there? This is why you're having your website and that information is so important, because they're gonna pick by how you come across online. Your pictures are so vitally important that you put across online, making sure they're welcoming, they give the message that you want, they brand your business the way you want your business to be branded. And then your SEOs, making sure they're optimizing that search for your business. SEO is, for those that don't know, is search engine optimization. And that's basically making sure that you're showing up the best you can anytime you search, or somebody searches for keywords that are connected with your business. So on your website, the critical information, you want to share announcements, you want to add users and sources, and you want to list operational changes, provide contact information, and assure customers. So this is all based on right now information that you have going on. Okay. Communicate with your customers and employees. So usually when it comes to Google, there's so many different platforms out there that you can communicate and video chat and things like that. Google has what's called Google Meets. If you're not familiar with that, it comes free. The basic starter package comes free with your Google account, which is really, really kind of cool. So you can host and join video meetings from any device. You can host up to 250 participants on a paid subscription. On a free subscription, it's 100. Okay, you can record your meetings. You can You can record your meetings. And so if you're like me, I record all my meetings so that I have documentation for the businesses so that we can go back and say, oh, we talked about that one marketing strategy. Do you remember? A lot of times the business will come back to me and we will go through so much information when we sit down and we talk. And so a lot of times they'll come back and say, remember what we talked about on this meeting? I can't remember that specific strategy, or I can't remember exactly what you told me here. Then I can just take that meeting and send to them and they can look through it and they can get all the notes that they need. It's also documentation for me on my end when I need to go through and I need to record those notes. So it makes a big impact. If you have a meeting, if you're in a big business that you need that kind of documentation, it's a really, really great asset to have. Just make sure you have the proper documentation in place for recording meetings like that. Okay, so this just kind of shows you the difference. That free package is 100 participants. The duration is 24 hours. Number of meetings is unlimited, and then the price is obviously for free. It's a great option, and it does an incredible job. If you are working remotely, the van life option right now is really big in our area right now, just because of the tourist area that we live in and the beautiful scenery. And so I know that a lot of those that work remotely through that actually use Google Meets in order to communicate with their jobs. It's really cool. So how can your business be benefited from Google Meet? So you can feel connected when working remotely, which is really, really important, especially right now. You can brainstorm ideas with your team. So you can all get on a Google Meets together, just like you were in a boardroom, and you can brainstorm the different ideas that you have going on. You can schedule a remote client consultation. And this is what businesses are learning to do a lot more frequently right now, is to schedule that remote client consultation. And what used to be their demographic has changed and become a international demographic, and they're able to really expand their business. Is one of the reasons one of the things that we learned through COVID is so many businesses are doing things that they were never doing before, but they've been able to expand their reach and grow their business. The other thing you can do is just what we're doing right now, is you can host classes online and have an impact that way as well. So you can join through Google Meets through two different ways. So you can go directly through Google Meets at meets.google.com, or you can connect through your Google Calendar. Google Calendar is another great asset to help organize and connect with keep everything connected. So option one, so you go to Google Meets or meets.google.com and you can add a new meeting just like this. Or when you start a new meeting, you just go directly into Google Meets, your Google Meets account, okay? You can also pre-schedule a meeting like that is on the right-hand side. It says job interview, 12:30. So as you accept Google Meets invites, it will actually have your schedule. And once you log into your Google account and you are on your account, it will have your Google Meets, say that 12 times fast. You'll have your Google Meets schedule there on the right-hand side. So you can just click on the particular meeting that you want to go into so that you go into the right account. The one on the left-hand side is your personal account that will start up anytime you click that button. Okay, so if you're using your calendar, say you want to set up a meeting with your entire remote team, or you want to set a meeting with a very specific client and you want to make sure that they get that invite on their calendar so they don't double book themselves. So you can go to your calendar, you can put the title, the date, the time, and then add video conferencing. That's the key there. A lot of people, that's how you add your Google Meets. And then it'll give you a button that you can click to add Meet video conferencing. And then that's where it'll assign your conferencing specific link so that your attendees can click on that and get into your particular one. Google Workspace, it used to be known as G Suites. It's now called Google Workspace. Also gives you an option to join by phone, and we'll add a phone number at the bottom so that is another option for your people. Okay. You can also add any more information that you would like your guests, details about the meeting, what you would like to go over so that your guests are actually ready for that meeting when they're ready to go. Okay, so then it's time for the meeting to start. You would just go into your meeting invite and click on the particular link that Google Meets has put into your meeting invite, and it'll take you directly to your meeting. The other option is if you are running off of Google, you can just click join Google Meets and it will take you directly as well. Same thing. Okay, so how Google Meetings look. So when you first click on Google Meetings, unless you are the host, if you're going into somebody else's room, this is what it will look like. It'll come up, it'll show you your screen so you know what you look like. It gives you an opportunity, if you're like me, to check your hair, make sure it's not flying all the way, because my hair seems to do very interesting things when I don't want it to do. It gives you that opportunity to maybe check your background, make sure it's all professional and appropriate depending on what meeting you're going into. Make sure you don't have anything in your teeth, because I tend to do that too, especially right after lunch. And then once you're ready, you can actually hit join meeting, and that'll, if you are the host, you will allow everybody in. If you are not the host, you just wait until the host lets you in. So that's kind of the setup that you can do. Another option, if you look in the right-hand corner, is the blurred background. So you can blur your background so that it just comes a little opaque. So it just more focuses on you. That's a new setting for Google Meets. That's kind of fun, kind of different as well. Okay, Google Meeting features. So to give you an idea kind of how it works, the very, very bottom center is your control mechanism. So your microphone will mute and unmute yourself. The red phone right in the middle will actually disconnect your call, so don't hit that until you're ready to leave. And then the camera on the right-hand side, that will start and stop your video. So if there's a point where you need to actually come off camera, but need to stay into the room, you can actually click that button and it will take you off camera, okay? In the right-hand corner in the top, it has the chat feature where you can actually click on that and then chat with either an individual or the entire group. You can just kind of scroll and choose which one you want to do that. It also will tell you how many participants right next to that, and then who they are. So if you are going to present through this Google Meets, the present is right down in the right-hand corner. This bar will actually fall down and will not be present the entire meeting. So if you need to use this bar, you're going to have to hover your mouse over it for it to come back up. When you click on it, it will give you the three options. You can share your entire screen, you can share an individual window, or you can share a Chrome tab if you want to share something from the internet. So that gives you the three options for you to share, okay? When you are the host, you have the option to record your meetings. If you're a participant, you do not. So when you're the host, you can click record meeting so that you have a copy of that. Like I said, if you were in a client facing and you want to have those for your notes, make sure you have that documentation. They know it's going to be recorded, but that's an option for you. There are other reasons why you would want to record your meetings, so that's available. You can make it full screen. You can change your background. Multiple things are available within this particular dashboard, and that is available with the three dots there on the very far right side that'll bring all of that up. Okay. So best practices for Google Meets. So make a good impression, keep your camera on. It's become a thing to go on video chats and not get ready and to just have your camera off and just be there. The best impression you can make is keep your camera on, be there fully and attentively, and be ready for your meeting, okay? Choose a neutral background. So whether you blur your background or you choose like a virtual background, whatever that might be, make sure that it's neutral so it doesn't take away from you and it doesn't distract people, okay? An external microphone maybe have a better sounding quality. I know that on all of mine, all of my computers and things like that, I actually have an external microphone because it's a better sound quality as though I'm in the same room. It makes a big difference. In here, I echo because I'm the only one still. I can't wait to get people in this room so it doesn't echo as badly. My microphone in here picks up everything. So make sure you mute your microphone if you're not speaking. That way, if something happens, a dog barks, if you have kids at home and they come and want to say hi, things like that, that's not picked up and just distracting for the meeting. And then make sure you, like as far as clothing goes, make sure you wear solid colors because that'll show up best on camera. I don't know if you notice, I always wear solid colors when I teach, and a lot of times I wear the same thing because it's all solid colors, and make sure that they show up and I don't fade into the background. You want to make sure that you show up and are able to be present and not fade into that background. Solid stripes and things like that will tend to fade in the background, especially if you have a virtual background. If you have the wrong color, that will actually disappear and that virtual background will cover you. So make sure that you have the right color on. Gmail is another huge asset when you are communicating. The cool part about all of these applications that we're talking about today is they all work together and they can all help you connect with your customers and then build your business. So we're gonna go over a few of these. Use the vacation response and the auto replier. If you're going to be out of town, make sure that you put that on. If you are not able to reply to emails quickly, use that. A lot of businesses will actually put that auto reply on all the time and notify and say, thanks for your email. We will reply to it in the next 24 hours. Or it's in, thanks for sending your email. We will direct it to the right department and reply within X amount of time. So your clients know who they are. Another thing is you can put your frequently asked questions on there. You can put updates as to what's going on, because if you've got changes going on in your business right now, it's going to be really important. And then any specific changes, because a lot of the emails that are going to come through might be, are you open? What kind of different things that you might have go on that you can easily answer over an auto reply, so they don't have to wait for a couple hours for you to get there. And then a lot of your emails, you can go through and say, oh, that was taken care of with the auto reply, that was taken care of with the auto reply, that was taken care of with the auto reply, and you can move on and not have to reply to so many emails. So it's a great option to be able to do that. Okay. Set up Gmail out of office. So in order to set that auto reply up, you go to general, that's up in the corner, the left-hand corner, you scroll to vacation responder, okay, and then you type the message that you want there, whether that's a frequently asked questions, you can put your changes, all that stuff that we talked about, you type your message and then you click save. Once you click save, that turns that on. You can also do it by specific dates. You want this specific message to go out. The first date would be this date. The last date would be this date. And that last date is an optional thing. If you don't put a last date in, it's going to permanently put that into place until you turn it off. So just a heads up. Okay. Access files from anywhere. As a business owner, it is important that you are able to access your files from anywhere. Say you are on vacation and something happens and you have to get information to your accountant. Or say you are you're traveling on business and you're at a conference and you're giving a presentation. This has happened to me a lot. You're giving a presentation and you did a flash drive, and your flash drive will not pull up your presentation for some reason. Flash drives have gone out because so many things have gone to cloud storage. And Google Drive is definitely one of those options for cloud storage, and it is a great option for business. So in your cloud storage, under Google, you would go to what we call the waffle, the 9 boxed in the corner, and find your drive button. Here's the thing about your waffle. As you pull that down, those applications will adjust based on your most used application. So if your drive is down towards the bottom one day, the next day it could be up at the top because it could be your most used file. That's a frequently asked question I get a lot. So that will adjust. Just be prepared for that. Don't be surprised when those move around, but your applications are all there. They'll just move around based on what you use the most, okay? In your Google Drive, you can upload and download files in different formats. So you do not have to fully use just the Google Sheets and Docs and things like that. You can actually upload in like Word and PowerPoint and any of those other formats, as well as you can transfer, say you have a Google Docs or a Google Sheets. You can actually download those in the different forms as well onto, say, a laptop or a desktop computer, so that you have that different form, because that's what's supported on that computer, which is really nice to have that ability. You can also share files, control who can see the files, but also control that they can see it and who can edit it and just view it and have that control over your files. You can access your files from your mobile device. There's an app that you can put on your mobile device for you to access to your files from anywhere you go, as long as you have your phone as well. And then you can edit your files offline. So I used to travel a lot before COVID. We're just gonna get everything, now that's before COVID, right? So anytime I went on a plane, I wanted to be able to work on my files. One of the things I would do is I would make sure that I would have whichever files I wanted to work on be editable offline, so that I had the full document available and to be able to do whatever work I wanted to do on that plane ride, and then be able to reload it once I got Wi-Fi again. Okay, so you can upload different dial files to your drive by clicking the big add button, and it'll give you this drop down that says add files or add folders. You can do entire folders, or in the same spot, you can actually start new documents as well. You can organize your files into new folders to make them easily accessible and more organized for you too. Okay. When you're in a file, so this is a Google Docs, when you're in this file, you can actually share with people, but you can also put in comments. So say you want to share this with your team, but you want very specific people to add in information to different areas. So on this one, that we need to put a comment. When we put that comment, there's that add button right kind of in the middle of the screen right there. That's an add comment button. So you're going to click on that. And when you click on that, you're going to add the email of the person that you want to add that. So you highlight the section. So have we started looking at her replacement? So that's obviously going to go to our HR person. So I want to highlight that. I want to make sure that that position's filled if I'm the owner of that business. So I want to highlight that. I'm going to add that comment. Okay, and I'm going to add the email of the person that's going to belong to in HR, and I'm going to put, have we started finding the replacement? In this particular thing, it's going to be assigned to Paula, as you can see on that left-hand side. And it's Randy that's making that comment and just saying, have we started finding the replacement yet? And then Paula, once I shared the file with her, Paula can come in and look and say, oh, I've got a comment, I need to reply. And she says, we have two good candidates. I'll bring their resumes to the meeting. So that Paula is now ready for that meeting, and she brings the right information because I shared the information and she knew exactly what needed to happen. So it's a fun way to communicate and keep everybody on the same page as you get organized. This is obviously meeting notes for a meeting they have. In order to share, there's different ways to share. It's the same button that says share with a little padlock. It's different colors depending on which application you're in, obviously, but it's the same process. So you bring up, then this screen comes up, you're going to type the email address of the person that you want to share this with. And then over on the other side, the right-hand side of that box, you can see where it says editor. In that box, you can change it. So it says editor, you can say owner, manager, you can view only, things like that. So you can change the level of access that they have for that. So like in this particular instance, they send it out. Here's the agenda for our meeting. You may not want anybody to edit that. You may just want view only. So this is the agenda for the meeting, just heads up, view only, no one can change that because this is what you want the meeting to be. Whereas on the budget side, here's the proposed budget to review for our meeting. You may want the people coming to the meeting to just view it, but you may want, say, accounting to be able to edit it if something is incorrect. So you can make those distinctions as well. So some people can just view and other people can just edit, okay? So the mobile access for all the Google apps is available. It's one of the really neat parts about the Google account. So you can download all of the different applications that we talked about today and have them right on your phone so that they're available regardless of where you go. When you want something from your Google Drive available offline, you go into Google Drive and you make it available offline. So there's a little button that you can push. And so you go into that document, you go down to File, and there's a little button that says Make Available Offline. So that is downloaded then on that device. And so that you can now open that fully, even if you do not have online capabilities. So now to recap, I know that we went over a lot of information today, and the good part about this is recorded and we will upload it to our YouTube channel. You can also check out any of these resources on grow.google.com. But just to go over your checklist, you want to update your Google information. You want to modify or pause ads if you've got them going, so make sure that they can adjust to your business needs and to be a benefit for your business. You want to update your website information. You want to use Google Meets to connect, whether that be an interview with a new possible employee or a client consultation, okay? Update your Google Vacation Responder so that it sends out general information or frequently asked questions or whatever it might be to help your clients right away so you keep connected with your clients. And then we also showed you how to share files on Google Drive. So that's a list of basics of what we went over today. These are the resources if you want more information on any of the applications that we went over today. If you want to deep dive into any of these applications, check out our other classes that are available. We also have the Google Workplace certification that is available on Self-Paced that you can go through and get a full deep dive in every single one of these applications. So that will get you started. We thank you guys for joining our class. We know that you're extremely busy, especially on an early Monday morning. I'm going to look and make sure that there are no questions real quick before we go. I cut out. So it looks like we've got a couple of questions on Facebook. So Nancy says that she had verified her account with Google, but hit some roadblocks. Is there a way to contact Google? So Google does have the contact information available through that, and there are different ways to verify your account. Nancy, why don't you contact me so that I can get more information so I know a little more about what's going on. I just need some more information. So why don't you contact me so that we don't hold everybody up? I know that this particular one ran long. So contact me and we'll go over that, okay? How much do Google Ads cost? I get that question a lot. Your Google Ads can actually be a set budget that you set. When you go in and you set up your Google Ads, you determine the budget for your Google Ads or your YouTube ads or whatever that you're going to do so that it fits for your business. The key is creating those ads so that they work around your business, they target your target audience. If you want more information about the Google Ads, we do Google Ad Basics. I'm doing that upcoming. Check out the Boss How-To series. on Eventbrite, and that'll tell you when I'm doing Google Ad Basics. I'm also doing YouTube Ad Basics coming up on the same series, but that will go over the details on more Google Ads information. So the person that asked, that's talking about, it's a super long little paragraph. It's talking about working remotely with their clients and struggling with the connections and stuff like that. If you're struggling with making connections with your clients online and working remotely and doing that, I highly encourage you to do a program called ROI. It's based out of here in Utah. It's called, Rural Online Initiative. Lost my train of thought. I'm struggling today. It's Monday morning. I should be ready to go. The Rural Online Initiative. So the Rural Online Initiative was started here in Utah to help bring in remote jobs and have a remote ready workforce essentially here within Utah. And it has, because of COVID, it's just been expanded and grown drastically, especially in this last year. And it is essentially a certification, and it goes through multiple different platforms, not just Google, but multiple different platforms, and how to connect with your clients, your people. If you're working on a remote team, it's not one basic platform specific, whereas this class is very platform specific. So I encourage you, if you have not, or if you're struggling to connect remotely and making those connections, getting them on your Google Drives, things like that, then I encourage you to go that way so you can learn other platforms and become a master at that. I really think that would help you. It's a 4 or 5 week course on Thursdays, and it makes a huge difference. I took it last October, and I've been working remotely with my different businesses and things like that on the side for years, and that class taught me things that I did not know. So encourage you to do that. To look up remote work certificate.org, I think. I will leave it, since it's on Facebook, that question's on Facebook, I will go back and add the website for that in the comments for Facebook. But that would be definitely a great option for you to go through that, because it forces you to go through those processes and learn those processes really, really well. And you work in teams as well. And so you learn how to share documents between your team and just practice those operations. And, it might be a different option that works better for you and your clients than maybe Google. Okay, so that looks about it for the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up today. I thank everybody for joining us. If you're watching the replay and you have any questions, feel free to leave your questions in the comments. I do check those on a daily basis. If you have any other questions or would like to reach out to the center, feel free to do that. That information is actually in the description on each of the platforms. Appreciate your time today. Have a wonderful week, and we will catch you next time where we are going to do communicating or connecting with Google Calendar and Gmail, where we'll go into further how to use calendars and Gmail. So that'll be a fun week. So we'll see you next week. Bye.